In this drawing by the Italian Renaissance artist Leonardo da Vinci, 4 shadowy figures emerge, their bodies intimately intertwined. Seated at the center of the scene is Anne, mother of the Virgin Mary, who was in turn the mother of Jesus Christ, the Christian Savior. Anne looks lovingly at her daughter, who, rather oddly for a full-grown woman, sits upon her mother's lap, cradling her own infant son. The infant Jesus raises his right hand in blessing while delicately grasping the chin of his cousin, John the Baptist, who leans in at the right of the composition. Drawn in black charcoal with white chalk on paper in the early 1500s, this work is a precious example of a cartoon. So what is a cartoon, and why is this one special? From the Italian word cartone, meaning a large piece of paper, a cartoon is a full-scale drawing used in preparation for the creation of a painting or tapestry. A cartoon may be created to help guide an artist's depiction of important details, like hands or faces, or to lay out the whole composition. This cartoon is quite large, measuring just over 4.5 by 3 feet, the size of the intended painting. In Leonardo's time, sheets of paper this large did not exist. If you look closely at this image, you can see how he carefully pieced together multiple sheets of paper. Part of what makes this cartoon special is that it is so well preserved. Usually, cartoons were damaged in the painting process. A cartoon was held against the painting surface and the basic design transferred through a process called pouncing. Small holes would be pricked along the contour lines of the drawn figures, and charcoal would be rubbed or tapped through these openings. Pull away the cartoon, and you have a full-size outline of your design. Great for the realization of the painting, not so great for the survival of the cartoon. Leonardo's cartoon remains intact, which suggests that it served as a presentation drawing, meaning it was likely intended to showcase the artist's design skills for potential clients, rather than for the transfer of his image. As famous as he is even today, Leonardo left behind few finished paintings. Much of what we know about his skill and innovations as a painter comes from his many surviving drawings. This work, his only large-scale cartoon to survive, tells us a lot about his unique approach to forms and subjects. Notice how he seems to start with simple outlines, like Anne's barely articulated hand that points to the heavens, and then builds up his forms with shadow, creating a sense of three-dimensionality through modeling, or using light and shade to make his figures look rounded. He also blurs the lines between the various elements in his work, allowing his forms to meld into one another, an effect known as sfumato. Some areas are left sketchy, suggesting that Leonardo was working out his composition by the act of drawing, almost like thinking out loud, but in charcoal. Leonardo's figures are powerful and mysterious, deeply human and yet divine. We are presented with the Christian Savior and his immediate blood relatives, his mother, his grandmother, and his cousin. For Christians, the genealogy of Jesus Christ is sacred and points to his unique role as both human and God. Anne and her husband Joachim had been childless until conceiving their daughter Mary through divine intervention. And of course, the Virgin Mary conceived Jesus miraculously. Having Mary sit upon her mother's lap, as awkward as it may seem, was a way to subtly reinforce the special relationship between these two women and the infant Jesus, who had no human father. The loving exchange of glances amongst his figures, including Christ's tender touch of his cousin's chin, demonstrates Leonardo's sophisticated ability to depict human emotions. He suggests the inner psyche of his figures, bonded here together through both flesh and love, what Christ himself would offer to Christians when sacrificed upon the cross for their salvation. Few Renaissance cartoons survive. Even fewer are undamaged. They were tools to be used, not finished works to be valued. Leonardo's cartoon is a rare exception, likely appreciated then as today as an important creation in its own right.